professional. But I want to unpack what you're saying from a standpoint of white people hearing it, right? Because we laughed when you said is Ryan Coogler is the director of the movie Black Panther. Because the first time you said to me, well, he's the Black Panther director, I thought, oh, what are the Black Panthers up to this day?
Right.
Gee, do they even still exist? Now, would I have wondered that had a white person told me the same thing? Gee, I don't know, but that's where my mind went, and I told you. And we had a laugh about that. You're like, oh, man, you thought I was talking about the Black Panthers. No, I meant the movie Black Panther. But just that whole piece escaped me. The other piece that was interesting to me is on the Crown Act. You know, I'm saying I've never encountered it, and I have not with any employee with African hair or any other kind of hair, but that's because I've been working in a workplace that everyone wears a lab coat, and if they're in a sterile environment, they're putting a bonnet on their head, so it doesn't come up. And so I dismiss it, not negatively, but because it's outside my lived experience, which doesn't mean it isn't an issue for you. And how does your son wear his hair? And how do your grandkids wear their hair?
Right.
It is bigger than just me being able to say, well, I really haven't seen it, but I think it's a good idea. Right. And yet I feel like what I bring to it does not have the intensity of what you bring to it. And I think,
and this is why this podcast is going to be good, is because I believe a lot of it has to do with also communication, just basically, like you said, and the fact that certain things cross over, right? I did say the Black Panther, the director of Black Panther.
Thank you.
And when I said director, I mean, I would have kind of thought that you might would have thought about the movie, but then I had to really think. No,
director is a professional role. I'm in HR. You tell me it's a director.
You're talking about the real Black Panther organization, and that's something I do know about. So for me, I should have even been a little more clear and clarified that, right?
I'm talking about the movie.
Yes, because I could talk about the Black Panthers too, especially coming from Oakland, California, born and raised, right?
Yeah.
So there's history there.
Yeah.
However, yes, this particular situation is of Ryan Coogler, the Black Panther director.
Yeah, that
the
was
movie.
fascinating. That he just didn't want a big fuss made while she counted out. And you said the amount was like $15,000.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of cash.
That's a lot of cash.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to be,
he didn't want a big fuss right in front of the teller.
And he's just
count
there
in the back room.
to film part 2 of, Black
The
Panther movie 2, right?
Yeah.
The sequel.
Yeah.
And that's not where he lives. He lives, I think he's still in California, somewhere, northern or southern. I'm not sure exactly where he is. I know he's from Northern California.
I know, but had he been the white director of Black Panther
or
movie,
a white person, period.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Whether
Would
he's
that
a director
have happened?
or not, with that kind of money, that would have been assumed he has that kind of money, and he just
I
wants
guess.
us.
Yeah,
right.
and just write a
They
note.
probably would have set him up with a personal banker, right? With that type of withdrawal, and they would have had the personal banker.
Right, just call someone over to do it. But
so
just fascinating. I mean, there's tons that we could unpack, and that's where I want to go with this. I mean,
exactly.
I'm not. I mean, maybe he'll be on our podcast one time.
Maybe.
What we're looking for, though, is people who are listening to this who say, "Oh, that resonates. That's just like what happened to me," and we want to invite them to be our guests and to go deep with us and help us to go deep
and not be afraid, because there's a lot of situations, I think about, oh man, now this is not one I necessarily want to talk about on this podcast, but when folks get to saying when you can use a particular word, you can use this word, but this person can't use this word.
Oh yeah.
Either, there's so many different ways that I think that either, through communication and our behaviors, we can learn to talk things through and not just dismiss it as something irrelevant or something that doesn't exist. Because we all have different learned experiences. We come from different environments,
right?
And we see things differently. And a lot of times that dictates how we behave.
Yeah.
And because of that, it also happens in our workplace.
Hi, I hope you liked that excerpt from the Great Brook Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss a new upload.